Hey everyone, it's Clint. Now, I sometimes have to take a step back and explain to people, regular people, what is going on in the comic book industry, and they give me these weird looks. And as I sort of sit back, I think maybe maybe I'm a little bit too sensitive about political extremism in the comic book industry. Maybe I have a tainted view because I'm looking for this stuff all the time. And then something happens, and I realize, nope, the comic book industry is just saturated with political extremists that would make any normal person cringe. And so I've got a thread for you to look at. Before we get into that, let me show you Fatal. This is launching tomorrow on Indiegogo, and this is going to be huge. This is a completed page sneak peek here of fully written, fully drawn, fully colored page, and fully lettered. Eric Weathers did some lettering here. I think we're going to, it's subject to change. Obviously, we'll go through some editing and stuff, but this is generally speaking what the look of the book is going to be. It's so cool. I think you're going to love it. So check it out. Launching tomorrow on Indiegogo. Be there or be square. All right, here we go. This is Shen Comics. Now, the whole punching down thing. I don't just like to pick random people on Twitter and mock them. And my point is not to mock, though it's going to be hard not to laugh sometimes. This is a comic book creator that's comics that I make in my room. Support my work. Patreon. They have 634,000 followers on Twitter. This is impressive. I've never heard of Shen Comics. I don't know if it's because I'm not cool or because I'm not woke enough. I don't know. But this is an example of what happens. This is crabs in a bucket in a different way. This is, if you try to be more moderate, people are going to flip out and make you be as extreme as possible. Otherwise, you are an outcast. It's ridiculous. It's so one-sided. And it's all over comic books. No wonder why the industry is having problems. Quit making these commitments to buzzwords, because you're really just trying to make people, like in this thread, happy. Now let's get through some of this political extremism. All right, here's a comment. Tell me how extreme this is. It's okay to have friends with different political views. It's even healthy because it breaks echo chambers, which are bad for your brain. Now, that to me sounds like a super middle of the road thing to say. This used to be a very, when I was growing up, I live in a very conservative state, and it seems like liberal people would say this all the time. Like, hey, it's cool. Like, people can have different political opinions. Chill out. And, it makes sense. But now, it's sort of the opposite. Things have really flipped around a lot. Here's a response. This is outstandingly, the response here has been just confusion and anger. So here we go from this other rando on Twitter. Comics creator says, no. Oh, concept artist, Spanish English. No, it is not okay to have friends that are of other political opinions. All right, here's another one. Until those opinions are, insert minority group here, shouldn't have rights. Who says that? That's the strangest straw man argument. I've got friends from all kinds of political persuasions. I've never met a single person that says, hey, this certain person should not have rights. Where do you dig up those people? You're fighting a straw man, and that's because you don't know anybody with different political opinions. You haven't, you yourself have even said you're not going to have friends with different political opinions. Until they say someone shouldn't have rights or something misogynistic. If they say something misogynistic, that's a broad brush. All right, here's another. Lots of people in this thread be like, okay, but not if their political stance is to remove people's rights or freedoms. So I guess this is slightly trying to be moderate. It'll move again, though. The Trump administration removed the right for trans people to serve in the military, a large infringement. Many people have political views antithetical to trans people existing, so I can't be friends with someone who can't accept my very existence. This is the problem. Like, there's no like, hey, we vote differently. It's always like, no, if you vote differently, you don't want me to exist. You bought a straw man argument Not only that, but these are the people that control the comic book industry. Uh, Here we go. Like, technically, I hear you, but STG, I don't understand. Am I not cool enough to understand what that means? I still don't get. Maybe that's it. I think I got it. I still don't get this. Is usually a dog whistle for accept my racism or queerophobia. My support of the violation of human rights is valid. No, that's not. Why does this have 654 likes? That's not code word. You legit like have friends with different opinions. I don't. This is the craziest thing I ever hear. I feel the same. Like, does everyone have such a short cultural memory that the centrists of politics were using that to like excuse their being friends with like Lauren Southern or Epstein just a few years ago that are just forgotten? Who is friends with Epstein? What side of the political spectrum were people friends with Epstein? This is insane. This is why you can't have like a clear discussion in comics, because any like actual friendships that cross political boundaries, you would have to be so quiet about it and in the closet about it. This is insane. Let's see. Here's another response. Except when theirs is that my life doesn't matter, then they can kick rocks. Who says your life doesn't matter? I've never heard a political statement that says your life doesn't matter. I don't understand that. Man, this is crazy. Anyway, so it goes on and on and on. So here's another response. This is another, again, comic book. Someone working in comics, 4,000 followers. She's got more followers than me. I don't know. I didn't look at the pronouns, but you get the idea. All right. I am open to having friends with different political beliefs. For example, I believe in racial reparations that are primarily monetary with property credit. And I have friends who believe in racial reparations that are primarily property based with a monetary component. Oh boy. So that is political diversity in today's world. This was in direct response to the other one, I guess, trying to be facetious or cool. I believe that the top 1% wealthiest people should be taxed on 90% of their income, but I am absolutely open to friendships with people who think that should be 85%. Okay, so you see how this works, and this happens in comics. This is why it's so important for Marxists to take over entertainment, is because they want you to believe that most people, or what are they called? The Overton window is far more left than it actually is. So if you're not a human being, if you're right of Karl Marx or Bernie Sanders, if you're right of Bernie Sanders, you're not a human being, and they'll go ahead and say that here. But the political spectrum exists over there somewhere on the far left. So it really is gaslighting. Now I saw this a little bit more in depth. I don't really want to show the video because I'm actually worried about YouTube doing something to my channel if I do. But there was this video circulating a lot today of some dude in Portland, some poor guy getting kicked in the head or something. I won't get into it too much. It was disgusting. It was just terrible. And riots and political extremism really need to be curbed, especially in places where they think that they are just totally immune from anything. Anyway, but I looked in the comments of, it was one of the Andy New, I don't know how you say his name. He was posting stuff on Twitter, posting videos of this incident. And I'm not even sure if the man survived, if the victim survived. But he was posting this, and then you'll see comments in his name that are just like underneath. They're just extremely racist. And at first you think, wow, Andy knows followers are just racist. Like, why would somebody actually say these terrible things? But if you look into it, if you think about it for a minute, you realize that anyone can make a Twitter account and create that straw man. And so something you got to watch out for with anonymous accounts. Anyway, they want to build the straw man. They want to make it true. The next thing you have are people confirming that it's true, anonymous people on Twitter, and that'll give them the courage to continue saying, I don't know why I'm pointing at this guy. He actually said something moderate. Uh, that'll give them the opportunity to continue saying things that are just ridiculous. Now, if you don't see the irony in, you're okay with being friends that have different political opinions until they want to take away your rights, but at the same time, you want to work in the comic book industry, and you want to have an open blacklist, an open whisper network, whatever you want to call it, to keep conservatives, literally anybody that's moderate, out of comics. You just want it to be for the far extreme left wing. I don't know what to tell you. If you can't see that irony, of course you're not going to be able to see why the comic book industry is suffering, why DC Comics is canceling all their titles. They can't sell books. You guys are out of touch with the regular population in the country, in the world. You're completely out of touch. So that's fine. You ride it into the ground. In the meantime, comics are still coming out by themselves elsewhere. So check out Fatal. It's going to be launching tomorrow on Indiegogo. I'm so excited to bring this to you, and I guarantee you the campaign page is going to impress you. The artwork's just outstanding. Really pleased to be working with Charlie Snogans. Let me know what you think in the comments below, maybe examples you've seen of political extremism in comics. And I don't know, we'll keep looking for this stuff. So thanks very much, and I'll see you next time.